Etsy may soon be lowering your search visibility if you are not meeting their performance expectations. And this is something that's been talked about and pending for a while, but it may soon be here. Let me show you what I'm talking about so you can prepare. And if you guys don't know who I am, LL, I help Etsy sellers start, build, and grow their businesses. If you want a super fun and great way to build your business and learn, join the Etsy games below. It's free. There's a link. See you guys in there. All right, so if you go into your dashboard and then the customer service stats, you will see all of your stats. And this is what has been used to meet the actual star seller. And it was a sneaky suspicion, and I thought this from the get-go, that they were going to eventually use this information to help you, but also hurt you if you don't meet it, because they want to make sure that buyers are having a good experience on the platform. Otherwise, they're not going to come back. So they needed a way to hold people accountable, especially with the huge influx during COVID of new sellers and sellers not doing what they should have been doing. In many cases, it really prompted them to speed this up. And, it's one of those things. It's like someone does something that they shouldn't do, and we all get punished. So here it is, and here's what you have to prepare for. So this star seller dashboard is everything that you need to do to maintain star seller target, but also the service standard of the platform. So let me just go through this really quick. So the first thing is message response rate. This is going to be making sure that you apply, and this is just a sample dashboard, but this is making sure you're responding to people who send messages within a timely period. So basically, to meet star seller, they say that you have to be at a 95%. But the customer service standard is 80%. So there's two thresholds there. Now, if someone spams you, you have to mark it as spam. You won't get dinged for that. The best thing that you can do for this is just have push notifications set up on the app, in the Sell on Etsy app, and then you'll get notified when someone messages you, and you can just message them right back. Even if you can't do a full reply, you're like, let me check into this. I'll get right back to you within the next hour or two. So that's a good thing to have. And I'm going to really talk about some pro tips to all this stuff, and then kind of tell you why you're going to get dinged on this in the future so you can prepare. On-time shipping and tracking is the next one. So this is according to your processing times that you set yourself. How fast are you shipping stuff out? So the customer service standard, it again is 80%. 95% is the star seller target. And you will get a star seller badge if you meet all of these. The star seller badge doesn't help you in search, Etsy says. You get a little badge there, and it basically bodes well with people coming to your shop. So I was never hugely worried about getting the star seller badge, but I am worried about getting dinged in search. So this is why this stuff is important. So just make sure if you're not shipping stuff out in time, like this is 75%, this is not good enough. So change the processing times. Even though if you change the processing times too far out, it's going to prompt people not to buy, because a lot of people are getting stuff for gifts and different things like that. So you want to make sure that you're giving them being able to get stuff faster where applicable. I mean, if you have to make stuff to order and it takes more time, it's super custom, then people will understand that, and that's where you can set your processing times. Average review. I mean, this one is a huge one. So reviews are super important, and you can't get bad reviews. It's not a good look. It's certainly going to hurt you. So the customer service standard is no more than 4 reviews have a rating of 3 or lower. And now it doesn't give a time frame there. That is I think it's just a total. I think it should be a time frame, but there's no time frame in here. And the star seller target is 4.8 or higher. So again, reviews are super important. Reviews mean everything. Everyone looks at reviews, so you have to make sure you're trying to get reviews early on. If you're a shop that doesn't have any reviews, once the item has been delivered, send a personalized message and say, hey, I saw your item has been delivered. I just want to make sure that you're happy with your purchase. Make sure everything is all right with it. If so, I'd really appreciate a 5-star review. It'll really help me out. So that's a great way to personalize, get some really good customer service, and ask for reviews early on to really stack the deck in your favor with those 5-star reviews. Now, open case rate. This is people can open cases if they have, if their item hasn't been received or there's a problem. So the customer service standard is, this doesn't impact star seller. It's not one of the metrics, but no more than 3 orders have had cases that Etsy refunded from your account. So this is a big one. If you start getting cases and Etsy favors the buyer and refunds, basically they'll take the money out of your account and send it to the seller or to the buyer. So you can't have more than 3. And this I've never had any. I don't even know, 25,000, almost 30,000 in sales, the number of sales. I've never had any cases open against me. Well, actually, I take that back. I had one, but that was what I prompted the actual buyer. That was for the buyer protection, the $250 buyer protection. And in order to get that money, you have to have them submit a case. So basically how the buyer protection works, they got the item in the mail that was empty bag. The bag was ripped open by the post office. They didn't get any of their items. So in order to get that started, they had to do a case for and then Etsy reviewed it, basically saw the picture, nothing in it. It wasn't my fault, certainly wasn't the buyer's fault. So it was easily decided in their favor, but also in my favor. So how that worked is the order was like $213. They refunded the order to the buyer, but then they also did not take it out of my account. So I still got paid for that. So the buyer protection in that regard was really good. It worked really well, as it should be, or as it should. So that's something to keep in mind. That doesn't count for this. The buyer protection doesn't hurt you when it comes to this. That's a separate thing. So here's where this matters. Now you see they added these customer service standard pieces here. These weren't here before. And when you scroll down here, it basically talks a little bit about the customer service standards and making sure that the service stats are at their standards. And it says consistently not meeting these standards may lower your search visibility, holy smokes, and impact your shop or account status. So this is a big one. And they've already been I've gotten word they've already been sending out emails warning people of this if they're not meeting the customer service standard. And the email says, I don't have a sample on me, but it basically says if you're consistently not meeting this standard, we are going to lower your search visibility, which absolutely could hurt your shop. So just make sure before they do this, make sure you're working on this stuff. And these are a lot of this stuff you have control of. You have control over shipping stuff out on time. You have control over message response rate. The only one that you don't have as much control over is the average review rating. But you still have control over it because you can make sure that you're giving good customer service. There's a little, there's things that you can do to basically swing this in your favor, which I would suggest that you're doing. So make sure you're paying attention to this now so you're not getting dinged when they roll this out. I don't have a target date of when they're actually going to start enforcing this, but it's going to probably be soon, I would imagine, because they're trying to get a handle on making sure that their buyers have a strong buying experience so that they make more money on the platform. Etsy has a lot of competition, so they're going to continue to roll stuff out that is basically promoting good seller behavior and positive buying, positive buyers on the platform. So hopefully that helps you out. Get ready for this. Make sure you check your dashboard to see where you're at so that you guys can prepare.